Welcome again to the old principle. 我就是老校长, and now we come to another interesting lesson. This will be number 306, running a marathon, 跑马拉松啊, 跑马拉松啊. So I'm going to tell my own experience, and it was in Taiwan. The first time I was in Taiwan. So I'm going to share with you, but before I do, we need to ask Mrs. Ash, my wife, to read us the story.
Story 306, Running a Marathon. I figured that the best running test would be to run a marathon. I had no grand illusions. I knew I was slow. I wouldn't win any prizes. But my goal was to finish the 42 kilometers in less than 4 hours. Of course, that was not world-class speed, but I was just an amateur. I read a few books and magazines about how to train. Fortunately, Jim Weller, a young American teacher at our school, was keen about joining me. For several months before the Taiwan International Marathon, we gradually increased our mileage. We knew that if we ever hoped to complete the marathon, we needed to be running 15 to 20 kilometers every day. We were awfully busy with school responsibilities. Nevertheless, we put in a lot of mileage. One time, we even ran 30 kilometers. Since the marathon was to be held north of Taipei, we went up there a couple of days ahead of the race. On the night before the race, Jim and I were excited. We made ourselves large portions of spaghetti. Unfortunately, we were so hyper that we didn't sleep so well. In fact, Jim even had a slight touch of diarrhea. At the starting point, we picked up our race numbers and pinned them to our shirts. The greatest concern was the weather. Even though it was spring, it was windy and rainy that morning. We didn't know how to dress. For sure, we didn't want to get too cold, and yet we didn't want to wear so much as to overheat. When the race started, Jim and I decided that we would start at the back of the pack. We didn't want to start too fast and then peter out. We wanted to start slow and then spend the rest of the race passing people one by one. This was our intention, and that is how we began.
Welcome back. Are you ready to go? I figured the best test for running test, would be to run a marathon. I mean, if you can run a marathon, that should be a pretty good test. Test, 这个测试. So for me, it's going to be a test. Can I do it? Can I run a marathon? That's a good thing. I had no grand illusions. 我没有多少巨大的幻想. In other words, 我没有什么这个梦想. In other words, I didn't think that I would win the race or do anything like that. I just said, hey, I'll do it. This is for my own benefit now. No grand illusions. Illusions 没有什么幻想. Okay. 梦想, no big dreams. I knew I was slow. Okay. And that I wouldn't win any prizes. 不会得到什么反正我不会得任何一个东西. I was too slow. I sometimes told people I'm about as slow as guanyo, a snail. In fact, we have the term in English, snail's pace, guanyo de sudu. So that was about me. Now, going on. But my goal was to finish 42 kilometers in less than 4 hours. My goal was to finish 42 kilometers. 马拉松的距离是42公里 okay? So that was my goal, to finish 跑完 what? In 4 hours. Okay? In 4 hours? Yeah, that's pretty good. Now remember, I was a lot younger then. Just we said, my dad would say a whale of a lot younger. Okay. Of course, I was not a world-class runner. I was just an amateur. So what does that mean? Of course, okay, I was not a world 世界级的速度，没有这个世界级的速度。Okay, I was just an amateur, 业余的选手。Okay, amateur, an amateur athlete, 业余的选手。Okay, and it was not world-class speed. My speed 不是世界级的这个速度。Okay, going on. I read a few books and magazines about how to train. During this time, I was interested. I read quite a few books and magazines, 杂志, to learn what are the secrets of running a marathon. So, I will probably not tell you any of the secrets, but I want to tell you the story that happened during my first marathon. Go ahead. Fortunately, Jim Weller, a young American teacher at our school, was keen about joining me. 幸亏, fortunately, Jim Weller, a young American teacher, 年轻的从美国来的一位老师, at our school. I was the principal. Was I the principal that year? Yeah, I think I was principal that year. Was keen about joining me. Keen. 热心于 okay, 热心于跟我一起去 okay, to joining me, to go with me. So he was keen. If I am keen about apples, that means I like to eat apples. 吃苹果 keen 很热心于 so this is keen. So I was keen about, he was keen about joining me. In fact, in the end, he ran more marathons than me. But this is many, many years later. He has run many different places. But it was our first one. Okay, going on. For several months before the Taiwan International Marathon, 这是台湾国际马拉松. Several months before, we gradually increased. 慢慢增加 mileage, 距离 mileage is 距离. So we increased the mileage. Okay. Going on. we knew that if we would ever hope to complete the marathon, so now I must tell you at this point that running a marathon is not easy. Don't ever get the idea that it's easy. So many people think running a marathon is easy. In fact, last year, one person here in Hong Kong ran in a marathon and died. Now, there are many reasons. I don't mean to scare people and say, oh, I don't ever want to do that. Even Lao Xiaozhang, I am still hoping to run one more marathon. But the important thing is do your preparation. Don't think that you can just go out and do it. Okay? I knew that if we ever hoped, 如果我们希望能够完成 a marathon, we needed to be running 15 to 20 kilometers every day. 应该每天跑15到20公里。Yeah, now that's not so easily done because Jim is a busy teacher, I am a busy teacher and principal, Xiaozhang. So going on, we were awfully busy, 非常 awfully 是非常忙啊 with school responsibilities, 学校的责任. Nevertheless, 但是 we put in a lot of mileage. This is very strange English, isn't it? We put in a lot of mileage. Now, you already know mileage is 距离. Okay, mile is 英里, right? Mileage would be 距离. You look at it. Okay, when we say we put in a lot of mileage, we simply mean that we have run long distances. You total up this total amount for the week. 一个星期加起来多少, okay? We put in a lot of mileage. We did a lot of running. We went quite a few long distance. In fact, one time we even ran 30 kilometers. So, for those of you who run marathons, you say, whoa, that's not enough. Remember I told you, we are amateurs. Furthermore, this is our first marathon. We got smarter later on. If you really want to prepare for a marathon, 你真正的要锻炼，要把你的距离拉长. But one time we did 30 kilometers. We felt pretty good. We were very tired, but 42 is a lot more. Okay, going on. Since the marathon was to be held in the north of Taipei, we went up there a couple days ahead of the race. Okay, so we were in the south of Taiwan. The marathon was going to be held up in the north of Taiwan. So we went up to the north of Taiwan 1 or 2 days early. I think we went up on a Friday. Usually the marathon is on Sunday, so we went up on Friday, a couple days early, ahead of the race. 在比赛前2天呢. Going on. On the night before the race, okay, on the night before the race, which means Saturday night, Jim and I were really excited. First time. Well, even now, I tell you, even now, that when I run a race, it's always exciting. 任何一个比赛, long ones, short ones, I don't care. But on that night, before the race, Jim and I were 很兴奋, very excited. We made ourselves large portions of spaghetti. Now, I must explain. When I read the books and the magazines, especially the magazines, they say the night before you race, eat lots of spaghetti. 意大利粉. So we made lots of spaghetti. We had a kitchen, and so we used our little kitchen, 有一个小小的厨房, and we made lots of spaghetti. We were excited. We ate 很多, okay? And it says there large portions of spaghetti, large amounts of spaghetti. So 一个人的份是叫 a portion. So if it's a portion, then these were big portions. In other words, we were eating a lot of spaghetti. Going on. Unfortunately, we were so hyper. Okay, what does hyper mean? Okay, hyper, in this case, 兴奋得不得了, 狂热的兴奋, hyper. If you have a child that's hyper, he's running around and too excited. We didn't sleep so well. 我们睡觉睡得不太好. In fact, Jim even had a slight touch of diarrhea. Okay, couple words here that would be helpful. Hyper, 狂热的这个兴奋的, okay, hyper, okay, and we didn't sleep so well. In fact, 其实事实上, Jim had a slight touch of diarrhea, okay, slight touch, okay. Of course, touch means what? 轻轻地摸. But if you say slight touch, it just means 有一点点, okay? So slight touch of diarrhea, 拉肚子, 泻肚子, okay? So he had a slight touch, 有一点点这个拉肚子. Well, that's not all that good to have that kind of a problem, okay? Going on. At the starting point, we picked up our race numbers, pinned them on to our shirts. Okay, 出发点. Okay, we picked up 就拿了我们的号码，有一个牌，一个号码。Okay, and pin them 用别针别在我们的衬衫。Well, in this case, it was 背心. Okay, so we pinned it on and to our shirts, and we were ready to go. Going on. The greatest concern was the weather. 最大的担心 was the weather, 这个气候. Okay, that day, it was not very good. Even though it was spring, 连做这个春节的时候 it was windy and rainy that morning. And it was cold. It was windy and rainy that morning. 这个又下雨呢，又刮风呢。And of course it was cold. Okay, still spring, but very cold. We didn't know how to dress. 不知道要穿什么呢？ Going on. For sure, we didn't want to get too cold. 这个肯定我们不要太冷了，所以这个一定要穿得多 ，OK？ And yet， 但是呢，我们也不要穿得太多 ，and overheat 发热太过分的 ，OK？You always get hot running, but we just didn't want to overheat 这个发热过分的 We just didn't want to get too hot. We didn't want to get too cold. We didn't want to get too hot. Going on. When the race started, Jim and I decided that we would start at the back of the pack. Okay, what does that mean? When the race started, we decided that we would start at the back of the group. When we say pack, that means the group of people. 这个大群这个选手 okay? Well, when I say that, it makes me think that it's like we were all experts. We weren't. Most of us didn't know what we were doing. Okay? And the race started, Jim and I just started at the back. In other words, don't start at the front. We started at the back. Everybody was ahead of us. We were the last people. Why did we do that? Going on. We didn't want to start too fast and peter out. Good words. We didn't want to start too fast. 不要开始跑，跑得太快。Or then peter out. Peter out is 美国的一种说法，就是说 you start strong and then end up weakly. Okay? So there's actually a story about Peter, and how he started so strong, and then he ended up 2,000 years ago, one of the disciples of Jesus. 耶稣基督的这个一个门徒彼得 and he petered out, started strong, ended weak. We didn't want to start strong, 由强的开始，然后最后弱慢慢的结束。So we wanted to start slow and then spend the rest of the time passing people one by one. It always makes you feel good when you pass someone. 你超过跑过任何一个人 you always feel good. You always feel like, whoa, I'm doing good. I am. So we wanted to spend our whole race passing people. 超过跑过人 Then it make us feel like we're really doing quite well. Thank you. Going on. This was our intention. And this was how we began. This was our intention. And this is how we began. Now, or that is how we began. Intention, 我们的计划 我们的打算 okay, is our intention. And that is the way we began. Now, I will tell you the rest of the story in another lesson because it gets very exciting, 变得好精彩. But I cannot tell you the story today because we are running out of time. But I did learn a few things about running marathons. First of all, in anything, 不管是跑马拉松, even if it's running a marathon or doing anything in life, always prepare well. Our preparation for this marathon was mama hoo. Okay la, but not so good. When you get down at the end of the race, it gets pretty hard. Secondly, there are things that you should do. Drink lots of water. Dress appropriate. 你穿的衣服要恰当, okay? And another thing is eat well. And the night before the race, many people have lots of spaghetti, 吃很多意大利粉. But when you are excited, 当你 especially hyper, 这个狂热的这个兴奋的, then it influences your digestion, 影响你的这个消化. So it's better to eat less than more. But we learned all those lessons by experience. 走一步 or 跑一步 学一步. Okay, anyway, here is how you can write to us. theoldprinciple@gmail.com, that's our email address. And our website, 我们的网站是 www.theoldprinciple.org. Hey, it's been great to spend this time with you. Hope that you will go out and get some exercise. Until next time, bye-bye.